So, the goal that we have for the panel is to discuss about the always relevant topic of linking research and the real needs of the market. So before we start with the questions, please take a moment to introduce yourself and how you are connected to the topic. So Mr. Malandrakis.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the invitation to be here tonight with you, with all your guests. I am Manolis Malandrakis. I'm an assistant professor at the Agricultural University of Athens. I am mainly working on aquaculture. We are at the Department of Animal Science, and our laboratory is the Laboratory of Applied Hydrobiology. So, as you can understand by the name, we are actually working mainly on aquaculture and other topics related to marine biology. Personally, I would like to say that generally speaking, aquaculture nutrition, I believe, is at the forefront of research worldwide. It's a very important aspect because it's actually the problem that we face with sustainability. Mr. Giovanni said that we have to catch fish and feed fish, but I have to say that we produce more than 4 times the fish that we spend as fish feeds. So we increase the volumes of the fish that we catch, actually. But in any case, it's important to reduce this kind of loss. And we are working in our lab with new ingredients, mainly to replace fish meal and fish oil. That is important. And with novel ingredients to help with the growth of fish, the health of fish, the welfare of fish. So we are trying to find novel ingredients on that. So I will not continue. We can proceed. Sorry
these are
for
parts
that.
of the questions. So, Mr. Kalogiorgas?
Yes.
One more.
Okay. Thank you, Adoni, for the invitation as well. Glad to be here today with you. I represent Deloitte. I am a manager at the consulting department. Just a few words, Deloitte used to be an audit firm, but recently we have a lot of advisory engagements, I would say. And from what I have experienced in the past, we have worked a lot with the agri-food sector, from agricultural cooperatives to producers in later parts of the value chain, or innovation organizations, as well as the ministry. So we have seen it from different perspectives. At the same time, I have also been engaged in a lot of projects with technology and innovation as well. So innovation and technology broader on a horizontal, let's say, from a horizontal standpoint. I think that the aquaculture industry has a lot to offer, being here today, and I say this because from a sustainability perspective, consumers tend to be more environmentally conscious going forward. Probably we may have less meat consumption in the future, so fish and seafood, is a very important source of protein as well, among others. So yes, I think the future will be bright.
So starting with the questions, if you want to close the microphone. So, Mr. Malandrakis, Professor Malandrakis, you touch upon a bit of your research, I guess. So please give us some more on what you are actually doing right now in the laboratory, and what's the research that you do that can affect the next day of the sector, focused on the sustainability, or even more with the climate change that we experience.
Okay, thank you. So I was saying.
Oh, sorry.
So I was saying that fish nutrition is an important part, and not because of the sustainability problems, but it's a major part of the cost. So it's nearly 60% of the cost. So it's important. But except for nutrition, we are working with other projects. For example, we are trying to develop molecular tools for fish fraud, for fish authenticity. We are working, we have colleagues that are working in fisheries and marine protected areas. So our research is not only restricted in aquaculture, but most of us are working on aquaculture. Another part that is important, and mainly due to the climate crisis, is that more and more we have increased the incidences of diseases. So this is another part of our work. We have a colleague that is working on fish pathology. And I think that in the near future, we will have to face problems like that. As it was already mentioned, my opinion is that aquaculture is going to move either open ocean or in a terrestrial way. I think that's the future because you can actually, in the first part, you don't have any conflicts with other activities that are nearby the sea. And on the other hand, you can actually control the effluents. So it's important to do it on terrestrial side. So more or less, we are working on these this kind of research. In the near future, we are discussing to develop new species in aquaculture because I think that so far, if you go to the market, you can find 4 or 5 species that are actually farmed, and the abilities, the possibilities are thousands of fish, and hundreds of them are edible, and we consume many fish, and a big part could be, of course, domesticated, so it's important. If you visit a market, you will find, for example, 1 species from freshwater, so that's a problem of underdevelopment. So that's all on my side. Thank you.
Very, very interesting. So, Mr. Kalorikos, the $1 million question. How easy to connect the research coming from the laboratory to the market? And if you want, is the market that defines the trends, or the research and innovation defines it and then the market is moving forward?
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. Thanks for the question. I think that, okay, is it coming from the market? Is it coming from research? It sounds like a, chicken and egg type of question or problem. I think that we all see that the market operates in any case, already operates, has been operating, and it offers various products and services, either from corporates, either to other corporates or to the general public. So, in the way it operates, we can all see in everyday lives, in certain cases, things that can be done in a better way. And here is where innovation and research comes in, as we try to identify ways to do things in a better way, meaning like higher quality of products, or reduced delivery times, or reduced costs, or even later and recently reduced environmental footprint, and so on and so forth. On the other hand, if you start from starting from research, I mean, even for a startup, for example, to be successful, it needs to start from the research and idea generation stage. Identify a pain point, problems in the market, and try to find a solution to this point. So I think that at the end of the day, it's the two sides of the same coin. Now, is it easy? Again, going on to the startup example, we see that, like, statistics say that we may have a failure rate of 90% or more. So it means that, depending on how you define startups, but in any case, let's say that out of 10 startups, 1 will succeed. This means that obviously, you know, it's very difficult to move from research to the end product reaching the market. And that's why it's absolutely critical for new ideas, new ventures to be, you know, close to the market, to talk with the market, collaborate, see, you know, where are the problems in the solution we have developed. Let's try to iterate, to adapt to the market, pivot if necessary, and reach a product that is, or a service that is solid and accepted by the market at the end. So in this sense, starting from the market, I mean, corporates themselves, and especially the more mature ones, they may be more extrovert in the sense that, you know, they may try to find ways to do things better, innovate. So they may start from entrepreneurship, try to innovate from within, or often they may go out and recently to external parties, to third parties, and launch innovation programs, innovation challenges, let's say, at the beginning, like competitions or hackathons where they have a specific problem or challenge, and they try to find, you know, ideas how to improve things. From either researchers or specialized consultants, subject matter experts in a specific field. Furthermore, and nowadays I think that the innovation ecosystem is developing, so we have innovation organizations or innovation catalysts. For example, New Agriculture, New Generation is one of them. And of course, in Greece we have, you know, many more, and the trend, I think, is positive as well. And all these organizations, they try to launch and operate innovation programs like incubators, accelerators, or training programs, you know, to help startups reach the market. So I think this is a very positive trend. We have innovation hubs, clusters, you know, technology innovation parks, and here the role of research and academia is critical. Like an indicative example is Dimokritos, for example, a leading research institute in Greece. They have the Lech Hippos Technology Park, which hosts multiple startups. Many of them, you know, are spin-offs from research. So this is, you know, answers to the question in a way. You know, as well as Ahead Innovation Hub, etc., etc. So also from a European standpoint, and just to give a personal experience, I had the privilege back in 2021 to be part of EIT FoodIMAP program. And then there I witnessed, as we talk about aquaculture today, I witnessed a new venture, a technology startup that later registered at the Elevate Greece National Startup Point, and it was formed by a Greek professional and a professor at the Italian university, as a matter of fact. So this is an interesting, I think, development.
So one more question for myself. So we have some keywords like economic development, like research, innovation, sustainability. So what are the essential next steps that should be done in order to bring the sector the next day?
Actually, the university, the public university, is funded by the state. So all this has to return back into the society. And aquaculture is part of the society. So it's not only research for research. We're trying to be quite applied. We are discussing with people in the business, and always they are quite positive to listen to new ideas. So there is a strong collaboration. We are trying to develop collaborations with the private sector. This is quite important. And actually, Panos gave me the pass. Recently, we tried to establish a living lab, which is actually a laboratory that will be ready for a business to use to test actual problems that they might have. We are currently completing the infrastructure. This is quite near the airport, the establishment. So we are quite open. So in order to proceed, we have to get closer. That's the actual part.
Sorry, you have
yes.
the people here to discuss about that.
Yeah, yeah. That's true. Yeah. And we are trying more and more to work with projects that are innovation projects to develop the readiness level from the basics, from the TRL3, for example, to TRL6, to increase the readiness level for the actual business. So we are trying always to have good partners from the sector and work together. So,
thank you so much. Panos?
Yes. So I think that there is a lot of potential for innovation for the sector, first of all, as it is growing in sales over the last years. Greece is a leader in aquaculture in Europe. Of course, there is potential, to grow more. We have, like, neighboring Turkey is a big player as well, or Norway is, outperforms all EU countries. However, especially the last years have been growing. We have the small scale, aquaculture players apart from the larger ones. And I think that, if we see where opportunity can come from, I think this is one direction, also part of the GFCM strategy for aquaculture, like to focus on small-scale practices in order to enhance inclusion as well. And I think that, taking into account the past performance of the sector, we can anticipate further future growth. So we can anticipate that there is room for new players in the market. But I think that even I would like to focus more also from my point of view on technology and how technology can come in. Of course, there was the very nice perspective from Agritrack already. However, from our point of view, and having discussed with colleagues from Norway, for example, from Deloitte Norway, I think that there is vast room for applications. And if I can give a very high-level overview of what can be done or what is being done already, we can start, from IoT and sensors and cameras underwater that can monitor, the environment, fish health, the feeding process, several elements. From these sources, you can collect data. You can use cloud, to store data and for easier data exchange. Then you can use AI and algorithms to do some, predictions, identify patterns in the data and see ways to improve operations. And the applications and the benefits there are multiple. So, for example, if you monitor fish health and you prevent diseases, it's from one point of view it's good from an environmental standpoint, like fish welfare. So also a requirement, but at the same time you improve operations and productivity. You reduce food waste. Another application could be like detection of water pollution, which on one hand, it helps in ocean preservation, but on the same time you also preserve your farm and your production. Other applications that I recently heard of are like even dead fish you can use for biofuel. So this is another like interesting development. And we can add many more cases, but I think that if we take it from, if we take a step back again, I think that what we need to adopt is an ecosystem approach. So all the different stakeholders in the aquaculture ecosystem need to sit on the same table and discuss and find ways to collaborate, exchange data to go into the next step. And this is a case from Norway. Like they have been working with a cluster, a seafood innovation cluster there that has brought all the different stakeholders together, including farmers, suppliers, tech providers, the authorities, etc., to set a new ground. And data sharing has been identified as one of the key initiatives going forward. So I think there are a lot of developments to come.
Great. So thank you both for this insightful discussion. I hope that you have enjoyed it as we did. Thank you both, and I'm looking forward for the Living Lab and how we can all be part of this initiative. Thank you.